I'm Jeff Douglas along with Casey Cowan. Welcome to Oregon Art Beat.
I'm really excited about our first story. We had a blast taping it.
Well, as a sort of musician myself, I'm really interested in seeing and hearing it.
Well, how often does a true innovation occur in the world of music? A new instrument or a completely new adaptation? Since the electric bass guitar was perfected by Leo Fender, well, not much has changed there. And then Lee Barker came along. Talk to Lee Barker about his woodworking, and you'll spend a lot of time laughing. He's got a great sense of humor.
So this is cherry and alder that you see in here.
And what's that instrument you're holding in your hand?
That's a moisture meter, and that we can try something here. This guy here. This won't hurt. This allows you to see what the wood is going to look like finished without leaving any residue on it, and sometimes I have to do this just because I've got to see it. Appropriate gasps from the audience would be timely.
Oh!
It's beautiful! This one looks better with the darker one wider and the lighter one narrower. Am I being too picky?
No,
oh, good.
I think it's great.
Well, thank you.
You know, and do the musicians care about how much it looks as much as how it sounds?
That's a wonderful question. There's an incredible visual component. I'm sure the question unspoken is, how will I look with this instrument? If you have my finely chiseled good looks, you know that you could play anything and look good.
But when it comes to the bass guitars he builds, Lee is very, very serious. Lee is the creator of the Barker bass, a bass guitar that you play upright rather than sideways. However, in order to not confuse it with an upright bass like you see in orchestras or jazz clubs, let's call this a vertical bass. How did he come to create this unusual instrument? Well, Lee was a master woodworker, building furniture, and a part-time bass player in a band with some friends. But he began to have some problems.
Because my wrists hurt playing a bass guitar, and I thought if I did it in an upright format, it might be better, and it was. It really was. Being a woodworker allowed me to do it readily. I think if I'd had another job and it had come along and I didn't have any way to execute the idea, I probably would have shrugged and let it be one of those things that never gets done. But I happened to have the skills and the tools to try it one time. And then I tried it again. And during that first 4 or 5 iteration period, everyone sounded better than the last. And so that was really reinforcing the idea.
And it does sound good. Here's Lee in rehearsal for a music review about Patsy Cline.
You want me to act like we never kissed. You want me to forget, pretend we never met. And
Lee was actually winding down towards retirement, but he got so jazzed about this, he started a whole new career. The problem is, it sounds great, but looks odd. The fingering is all the same, but there's about a 22 degree difference in the angle. And it turns out, that's a tough obstacle for some musicians to overcome. Lee took his creation to a musician's trade show, where his bass got
skepticism. I suppose rejection in some ways, but not much interest. We in fact sold a bass there, but it's not really a selling venue. It's where you present yourselves to the industry. And it wasn't discouraging, but it certainly wasn't what we'd hoped it would be.
But Lee found that if he could just get people to try it.
Let's pretend you're a bass player and you're standing there looking at it, and I say, would you like to play it? And you would say, no, I don't play upright, because to you, it's the orchestral bass with that great big fingerboard, and you got to go clear to Nebraska to get to the G string and back through Kansas. And and this doesn't register yet to you as something that doesn't intimidate. So then I walk up to the instrument and say, it's a 34-inch scale, the upright bass is 42, and instead of 3 notes, you get 4 here. It's just like your bass guitar. It has frets, it's got P bass pickups, and you would say, yeah, but I don't play upright. And then I would play a few notes. And you would go, and then come over here. And so you would say, well, I don't play upright. And about 4 notes later, you're grinning from earlobe to earlobe.
In fact, Lee says it takes next to no time at all to make the adjustment.
I've had a number of people come to Redmond to try the instrument, interested in buying, and I don't think intent on buying, but interested in buying. And in 3 cases, I said to these people, bring your basses, bring your amplifiers. I'm fearless. Put your best stuff up against mine. And all 3 of those walked out with a new Barker bass.
It helped when the bass guitarist for international music star Yanni bought one. And once Lee got a presence on the web and word started to filter out about the great sustained tone...
Do you want to play a game of chess while this sounds? Maybe we could play 2.
It goes and it goes and it goes.
So you say, well, I'm playing bluegrass music and I just need this kind of thing. But in fact, any sound starts to decay as soon as it's struck, if it's a string. And what this means is there's more warmth in every note that's played.
I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I
And when
love
musicians
you, I'm
discovered the
always
ergonomic ease of playing,
after midnight.
There are a couple of owners who have been real specific with me that they would not be playing bass now if they didn't have my instrument. Because they can't play a bass guitar, and there is nothing else like my instrument out there.
sales picked up. But the price point is still an obstacle for some.
You could go buy a good imported bass guitar for $200, and I'm at $2,000. So there's a difference. There's a bridge to cross.
Yeah. But each time he packs up a new Barker bass for an enthusiastic new convert, Lee's determination to make this work is renewed.
Is it paying for itself at this point, or are
no.
you? No.
I don't want to say, oh no, I want to say, no, it's not paying for itself. I have to do other things to keep food on the table. But this is a lifetime commitment, and I've got some time left.
Time enough, perhaps, to become the new standard in bass guitars.
So yes, they are expensive, but Lee will do layaway. And for musicians who have wrist issues, it's a great solution to playing in pain or having to give up playing altogether. Lee has a website with all the details on his instruments and how to order, or head over to Redmond and try one out for yourself and meet Lee. He's a lot of fun. Contact him at barkerbass.com.